I read a crazy story this week. A man named Peter Richey in 1820. He was traveling in the shipping lanes across the Atlantic, and the ship which he was on sunk. And he got rescued by a second ship, and that ship sunk. He got rescued again, and that ship sunk. He got rescued again, and that ship sunk. He got rescued a fifth time, and that ship sunk as well. And he was out there bobbing around the sea, and he was floating around with absolute certainty he was going to get rescued again. And he got rescued again by a ship called the City of Leeds. And this ship was headed from England to Australia. And they hoisted him back above board, and the doctor gave him a once-over and found out that he was perfectly fit and okay. And then the doctor asked him an unusual favor. He said, we have a lady on this ship. We've been traveling. She's aware of everybody on this ship except for you. And she's gone into a high fever and delirium. And she is crying out for her son. And if you could just go in there and present yourself as her son, I think that would help her. She knows everybody else, but you're someone she's unaware of right now. She doesn't know you're on the ship. And so if you went in there, it might work. So he agreed to do that. And he followed the doctor below deck, and they entered into the cabin. And there on a small bed lay a frail woman with silver hair. And she was delirious, and she was crying out, please, God, let me see my son before I die. I must see my son. And so Peter richly kind of stood back, and the doctor pushed him forward. And he pushed her toward his bed. And when he got close to the bed, he saw that the woman on the bed was Sarah Richley, and that she had been praying for 10 years to be reconciled with her son, Peter. God allowed 5 ships to sink. I don't know God causing the ships to sink, but in the process of those ships to sink, they made sure Peter did not go down with everything that was happening. And God answered the prayers. The doctor watched as Peter fell down beside that bed and said, Mom, I am here. It's me. I'm here. The story goes on to say that the fever eventually subsided, and the next morning the woman woke up to see on the edge of her bed the answer of her prayer for 10 years. You know, God is amazing. And we haven't even begun to tap in. When we really tap into who God is and what he wants to do, the world around us will have no excuse. They'll have no response to the obvious as God shows himself strong in the life of the body of Christ.